Hello and welcome back to the Artisfy Codecast. I'm going to start where I left off last time, and let's look at where that is. So if we open up the code, we were dealing with this weird situation. Not super weird, but we're just dealing with a situation where for some of the timeline blocks, we don't want text next to it. So we just want it to have like an icon inside of the colored block, right? So we don't want this text to display. But what I would really like is the ability to control if that text is visible while keeping those elements there if we want them to be there, right? So in order to do that, I I kind of decided that I'm going to move this data um, up. I'm going to move it up the to this area, so we can see what that's going to look like. And I'm really not sure this is the right move, unfortunately. Now that I'm thinking about it, because now what's going to happen is when I click the block. So when I click this block, we're still going to get this inline edit control, but it's not going to copy the data because it's only going to copy the data from this element and this element's children. So the issue we have here is that we want the data to be in a different place than where the widget trigger is. And that's because we want the data to be able to control how the entire component looks. Um, and at this point, if you're like a React user or a Vue user, you're like, wow, this would be so simple. And one of those, right? Because in those, the data just flows down from the top. So, you know, if you, I don't know. I mean, handling data is complicated in any scenario, but it's definitely more complicated right now when we're building our own library and we haven't really thought through or fleshed out all of the use cases yet. So this is something I would really, 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 really like to support, having the data be on an element that is above some other elements, but we're going to only open the widget on an element below it, and then we're going to set the data on an element above it. So one thing we could do would be very easy is have, I know this isn't possible. I'm pretty sure this isn't possible. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this isn't possible at all. But yeah, so this parent selectors, so suggest this syntax. Um, yeah, so it's been suggested and rejected, but I'm not actually looking, for a real running example. Um, I'm just so what I would do here is I would say, okay, we got these guys here, and I know this is like a lot of code that is repeated now, but what if we did something like this? So we do that, and then we do um, I don't know, something like that. It looks crazy, right? And then for here, we would do the same thing. Now, there's a couple problems with this. One is we would have to have, a custom parser. That's not the worst thing in the world. It's pretty bad. Uh, it's pretty bad, to be honest, just to write that. Also, we're duplicating the code, which is a huge problem. Um, and we're messing, so the other issue is we're messing with our syntax. So before we were saying, even if we like don't have the spaces here, we're still messing with our syntax a lot in terms of like what this means, right? So when it starts with a dot, it's supposed to be saying, hey, the data isn't on a data attribute. It's inside of the element that this dot is selecting, right? And with just the regular dot, it's the current element, right? So this, for example, means that it's on the inner text of this element. This means that it's on the value, right, of this element. Now, if we change this to be able to select the parent element, right, then um, we're not only doing that, right? We're not just saying, hey, select the parent element. We're also saying um, it's not necessarily on the inner text now, right? We're saying it's on the data attribute. And I guess this could have like a dot on it, right? So we could say, hey, look on this parent element, and it looks on the parent element, and then it says this one says look in my inner text, and then it's actually in the inner text. I don't know if we'd want to support that too. So one thought just came to me. What if so if we let's just undo this. Okay, so now we just have the data duplicated. So let's look in our, I believe it's the output.js, and it's the parse node one. So the parse node, we're going to see if it starts with a dot, and then we're going to get the location key value. So what if there was a way or what if we just did this? So it's just that symbol. And all that means is, hey, this data is not on this element. You have to look up. You have to find it on an element above it. I guess it would only be able to be the parent, although we could have a special syntax to say like 1 to look one element up, 2 to look the two elements up, 3, right? But let's say we want to tightly couple it, right? We're fine with making it just being able to access the parent, and we just have this syntax. What would this involve here? Well, here, this would be saying, so first of all, in our normal parsing of the DOM and the data attributes, we're not going to care about this. This only matters for the syncing, because for the normal parsing, we're going to actually run into this first, and then we're going to run into this. So if this points back to this, and we just parse this again, we're going to end up with the same data. So it doesn't affect that case. The only case this is affecting is when I click this and the sync element says, okay, I got to go check the source's data and get it. This is saying, no, don't check me, check the element above me, right? And also, when you're putting the data back, sync with the element above me. So the more I think about this, the more I don't like it. So let's remove it from there and we'll put it back here. I saw this funny thing on Reddit the other day that was like, Command Z is my source control. It was pretty funny. Just made me think about that with what we just did. Okay, so do we have other options here? So we could wrap these both in a no. I was going to say we could wrap them both in a parent and then make that parent a certain size and then make sure that this text overflows that parent. And it's too much like custom styling just to massage the data. The other option, so the simple option, would be to, when you click on this, it clicks on the whole row, right? And so all of the data is on the whole row, and when you open this, you get the type, you get the size, but then you also get the primary text and secondary text. So you're editing them all at once using the same inline edit control. And that's not awful, right? I mean, it's not ideal. We don't want to like force ourselves to do something like that just because our library is set up in a certain way. But I was just talking about yesterday, like, I hope that when things don't turn out to be easy to do with the library, I hope that I just kind of adapt instead of, trying to force the library to do it, because that's going to take too much time and I just kind of want to finish building Artisfy. So, okay, and then the other possibility, which is, shouldn't really be frowned upon, is using a sibling selector. So that's not like the worst thing in the world, right? So all we would do is we would say, okay, if this if this timeline block has a data output key type, data output, if it has a type equal to feedback, then don't show this and don't show this, and actually just hide this altogether. And it's a sibling, right? And the sibling selector, I believe, is more reliable than I'm thinking. I think it's the tilde, the adjacent sibling. Oh, there's two of them. Okay. I mean, I knew this. I'm a CSS expert. Okay, so this is the one I'm thinking about. General, and this is the adjacent. So this is one, they're like, this one follows that one. And which paragraphs that come immediately after images? Yeah, okay, so it makes sense that, yeah, the paragraph's the second there. And then this combines two selectors and matches the second element only if it follows the first element, though not necessarily immediately. So we could use this general sibling selector, and then that makes it a little bit more, flexible. It's still not ideal because, okay, so like I'm okay with using a parent element as a selector because most of the time you respect that parent element as this is the component, right? And so, I think of the timeline item as the component. So if I'm going to, say that it's active, I'm going to assign the active class to this. I'm not going to assign it to this. However, as far as all the children go, I want to be able to like put this in a div, right? And if it's, being selected, and call it whatever, right? And if it's being selected by a general sibling selector, this isn't going to do it, right? That's not going to help at all. Whereas if the styles was on, if the data slash, active styles or whatever was on the parent, this isn't going to affect it. So it still is not as nice to do it. I could preemptively put it inside of a div and then prevent and then like do the sibling selector on this and then a child selector, and then just like put a note in here to say like never remove this, but you can add classes, and then it would like let me add classes to it. That's very silly. Is there anything else we could do? Okay, so like what if we move all of this stuff up here? Just hear me out. Actually, don't hear me out. I'm just brainstorming, right? I don't know what's gonna happen here. Well, okay, so the problem with this is that, obviously this timeline item spans the whole width. So if we go into here and we look at the timeline item, yeah, it spans the whole width. Now we could still make it work, right? Because if we look at this timeline text, what is this? Flex. Is this flex? This is display flex. So I think we could probably get the height of this flex fox. Yeah, that's right. Flexbox. Okay. How do we make the height the same as the parent? I know there's a way, right? There's a way to like stretch it, right? Align items. Stretch. Okay. I don't know. Oh, wait. No. It would have to be on the parent. Did it have an align items on it before? Yeah, it had a center on it. Okay, so align item stretch, and then, yeah, just pretend that this is styled correctly. So we find a way to center the text in here, okay? I mean, we could actually just do that very easily by so the height is 36, so we just set like a line height of 36. Okay, so now you'll see that this text is the same height. So if the click is on this timeline item for switching on the switch, right? But it's just for this one that we want it to pop up. That's going to be fine, right? Because it's only going to extend to the place where the text takes over, and the text takes over the rest of it, right? So it's only going to be up to right here. And then as soon as the text starts, we're going to have another switch on that. And I know what you're thinking. Well, you don't actually prevent, other switches from firing when you click this switch. So all you're going to do is you're going to get this popping up and this popping up whenever you click on the text. However, that's not true because we can put a stop. We can put a data switch stop on this so it doesn't affect the one above it. And it kind of makes me hate myself because it's super hacky. But it's an option, right? It's an option. It's something we could do. Okay, so what do we do? How do we feel about that? I feel awful about that. I feel awful about that. That feels totally hacky. So we're not going to do that. And the main reason it feels hacky is style and data are different. If you use style to help the data out, you're hurting yourself in the long run because it should never, ever, ever work that way. Ever. And this is a huge problem I run into when I'm talking with like very logical developer type people. They think that, some of the sympathy should go to them, like not the user, right? Like when it comes down to like what's easy for me as a coder and what's easy for me as a designer or a usability person, and then what's easy for the user, everything that's easy for the user should, in my opinion, should come before what's easy for the developer and the designer. Because if you're not building a product that's easy to use and intuitive, then what are you doing? Like you're holding down a job, I guess, but I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of there's all kinds of gray areas, right? But in general, I think you just don't want to confuse what's easy for you with what's easy for the user. And this is a case of that, right? I would be setting myself up for later, forgetting that I'm, you know, helping myself doing this. I would change the design around. It would stop working in some like small amount of use cases. It wouldn't be reported for like months because, you know, users don't report those types of like minor annoyance bugs. They only report the like game-ending like terrible outcome bugs. So it would just live there and be a minor annoyance forever. Okay, sorry, rant over. Okay, so let's go back to our old way. I think this is this is where we're at. Okay, so let's just use the sibling selector, right? I mean, the other option is just to remove this for certain cases, but I prefer doing the sibling selector. So let's go into, so we don't want feedback. Feedback's not going to do anything. Discuss isn't going to do anything. Payment is going to do something. So let's go into main, let's go into payment, and we got it right there. Okay, so this is the block, this is payment, and let's do like and then we'll do sibling selector, and I don't know, we can close this, and close this, and close this for now, and close this. Or what did I just, why did I have this open? Oh, because I was thinking through that code. Okay, so now we're going to select this as a sibling, and we're going to just say display none. You are not important if you are next to a payment. The other thing you are not important when you are next to is, it's not revision, it's not detail work. Is it only payment? Oh no, it is revision. Okay, so revision, we'll do that here too. Yeah, okay. So now if we refresh, we open this, boom, that text doesn't display. Let's take that filler text out of there that says too late, because it's not displaying anyways right now, so there's no point to have it, because all we were showing that temporarily for is to make sure we were hiding it, which we are now. Okay, so now we've got the next timeline item. Let's get into that. It is going to be another size one. It's gonna, oh wait, no, this was the payment one. Okay, we're done with this. You can't, you're not having two payments in a row. Okay, this is a size, I believe it's a size 3, initial sketches, it's focus work. I guess I can bring up my wireframes or my designs just to confirm. So we'll go into expanded timeline one. So initial sketches, yeah. So it's not a 4, it's a 3. So I was right with this 3 thing. Okay, so we got 3. We just copied the payment one. So this is going to be focus. This is all right. This is right. This is right. Object is right. This is right. And this is right. And yeah, we're not setting the text on these, right? Ever? Or no, we are. Yeah, we're gonna have a default. Okay, we have a default by day 7. Okay, and is that it? Is that all I need to do? There's a size and there's a type. Size, type, and the 2 text nodes, and that's it. That's all I need to change. Let's see if it works. Oh, we left the money thing in there. Oh, okay. So yeah, let's make that able to be hidden too. So let's have like a special one for this. So it's block icon and it's like payment, right? So what styles do we have for this? Okay, so it's display none. Oh, when it's collapsed, and it's display inline when it's switched on. So those are the only styles we have for it. So we want to say, where is it? It's inside the block. Okay, so I kind of want to okay, where is it display inline? It's display inline here. Okay, so there's two cases where we want it to be display inline, and those are this case and this case. So we're going to have payment and revision, and we can put this inside of here, and we're going to geez, okay. Oh, okay. So it's actually only for payment that we want it to be for this one. And then for revision, we'll say the revision one can display inline. And then, yeah, we deleted the other one where it's displaying all the time. And then down here, yeah, by default, it's going to display none. Okay, so that makes sense. So the other thing we want to do is just search for the revision one. So this is the revision one. And we're going to just copy this, and we're going to say revision. And I feel like I left something somewhere. Okay, so if we expand this, oh, that's perfect. Now we get nothing. That's just what we wanted. Oh, geez. Okay, so what's going on here? This has a output key type of payment. Oh, it's because we don't, well, oh, it's okay. It's because we just added these to the focus one. So this is behaving how it should be. This is the payment one, and I didn't have the dash dash payment on there, so that makes sense. So I'm going to add it to all of them. And yeah, I don't know. You might wonder why add all the icons. I mean, because the thing is, we could just rely on the backend renderer, right? The template, like we're going to use pug on the back end. This is the back end, right? And so we're going to be looping through these timeline items in this template. So we could just say, like, if it's this type of thing, don't render this thing. However, I would rather just render it and take care of it in the styles and have everything have the same structure than then strip it out on the back end and rely on that. And I don't know what that comes from, but that's just a lot of experience. This is like such a small price to pay in terms of like rendering and serving to someone. You know, it's an element with a couple of classes that's hidden by default. It's really nothing to worry about, in my opinion. I could be proven wrong, but it feels like a very low cost for a nice reward. Okay, so the next one is going to be discuss. Um, so I guess we can just copy what we have already and try to mimic it. So we're going to have a data size of, oh, sorry. Oh, wait, do we have, is the next one discuss? Should I just do the work one? Did I already delete it? Yeah, because this is by day 9. Okay, so we're going to say discuss, discuss, and then this is going to be 2 because that's the lowest user editable size. This all looks fine, and it's going to be discuss instead of focus. Okay, so let's delete this. I think we've run through all of the unique use cases. So I'm just gonna keep doing this without looking at the code. So now we've got a revision. Revision, we've got 1, and then this text is empty. Okay, now we'll paste again. For this next one, we've got a size of 9, which I believe, yeah, it's the 3, so it's not the highest size, because I think the highest size is the old 12. We've got focus, we've got by day 13, and we got detail work. Okay, and next we're going to do size 3, so that's size 2. It's going to be discuss, it's going to be discuss, and it's going to be 17. Okay, so that's very little changes. And then we're going to do a payment. Yeah, and it also just makes this kind of like editing easier when we don't have to worry about like, oh, we're stripping this out here, we're not stripping it. Like, it's so much less to think about. I think that's the main thing for me, is it's so much less to think about. And I know I was just talking about like developer, designer, user trade-offs, and I'm making, a trade-off in favor of me, but I think it's like minuscule user concern, like decent space in my brain, me side. So I think it's a decent trade-off. Okay, so what was I doing? Payment, it's going to be size of 1. We're gonna do, oh no, is it? Oh my goodness, I lost track of it because I went on a mini rant. Did I just delete this? I just deleted it without doing anything? Yeah, I just deleted it without doing anything. Jeez. That's what a lot of clients do to artists. Just to delete that payment step. It's awful. Oh man. I'm gonna regret that years from now. Okay, payment. Well, just because it's like it's an insensitive joke because it's the artist's like actual time, valuable time, and it's something that a lot of artists struggle with, and they don't deserve to struggle with it. So it's a little bit of an insensitive joke for the founder of a uh, artist supporting company to make. Okay, revision. It's going to be size 1, and we're not going to have these. Got that. Okay. Paste this in. We got by day 25. We got color amp shading. Always love to see that amp sign. We got 3, and this is going to be focus work. Okay, delete that. We'll paste this in. We got revision. So we're not going to have this text or this text. We're going to have revision be here. We're going to have 1 be there. We're going to paste this in. We've got by day 27. We've got final approval. I think this is feedback. And we've got a size of 3, which corresponds to a size of 2 with this new one. And last but not least, we've got payment, size of 1, and this can be deleted. Okay, awesome. So, I mean, we've got a lot of repeated code here. Like, if you just scroll up through these, like, this is a lot of code to have on each timeline item, right? But they're actually, it's expressive too. And it's clear what's happening, and it's clear what it's doing. And, you know, ideally, we wouldn't have to say this, you know, the -10 every time. Oh, and I did copy this every time, huh? That's too bad. But I think it's a decent trade-off for being so expressive and for being clear about what's happening. And, you know, you can kind of, like, if you understand the switch library, the copy layout library, and the output library, you know exactly what's happening here. So it's, I think it's pretty nice. Okay, so let's go and see what this looks like. And if I've finished this, maybe I call it a day. I think these icons are a little big. The revision icons. So I don't have a place where I set, I guess not. Unless I set this somewhere. I could have sworn I didn't make it this bad before. No icon there. Okay. Well, let's do and dash dash revision font size. I don't know, 12px. I don't even know what it's at right now. Huh. Did it do anything? Oh, it didn't. Okay, that's better. And it's display inline. Line height 24px. So I'm not sure why it's why it's so low. I guess on the timeline block, what did I do? Flex. Well, I guess I could do display flex. And what, align items center. And justify content center. Okay, that feels better to me. So we got this on the timeline block itself. So we've got a height, a margin right, flex 00 auto, border radius, text line, color. I could have sworn I saw a line height on here. Here it is. Size 1. Oh, I only set it on the size on the size 1. That's weird. So size equals 1. Wait, where is this? Data. This is when it's switched on the bundle timeline. Okay, so this is where I set the line height. So we're not going to need the line height anymore if we go the flexbox route. So this is the timeline and the data switched on. Is there anything else? I'm doing so much flexbox stuff. I hope that doesn't come to bite me in the butt later. Okay, so now we've got underscore block. This is for the switched on. We just want to have it for the regular, so we'll do it here. I think that should be at the top. So normally I put like layout stuff at the top, and then I put like lesser layout stuff next, and then like stuff that's more styling towards the bottom. So like color isn't going to do anything with layout, mostly because the like heavy layout stuff, like its display property, its flex property, its position property, that's going to lead to the most visual bugs. Yeah. Okay, so let's also do display flex, align items center, and justify content center. Okay. It's still a little low. Oh, I think it's because I removed... No, it's still a little low. So if I... Oh, wait. It's still got the old code on it. I hate that. I really need the auto reloader. Okay, awesome. So that looks better. Just gotta refresh twice. Oh, and the legend isn't showing. Let's get the legend showing. So legend... we still got this legend active thing. So this is instead going to be data switched on bundle legend. And that should be it, I think. Okay, so let's look at the bundle. Bundle, all the way up here. So the details in the timeline are switched on. I click this. Oh, okay. So that's the problem. The legend is not set up yet. So we got the legend. We still got this old trigger thing on it. Let's get rid of that. And let's do data switch actions. And then this is going to instead be this, instead of this horribly namespace thing, be like that. We're going to use parentheses instead of square brackets, and we're going to use on instead of activate. And legend close. Okay, we can do that. Data switch actions, legend off. Okay, so that should already work. Cool. So we're getting pretty close to like where I was a few months ago. Okay, so that works. This works. Yeah, so we're getting pretty close. The advantages that we have now are we have the input library, we have the output library, and our switch library has much nicer syntax that's easier to work with. Yeah, our little like info button doesn't work yet because we don't have tooltips yet, but that's fine. We don't get a cursor for that. Yeah, I need to add a cursor for that, but that's fine. And I should add like a cursor for all of these clickable things and then like make it clear that they're editable by clicking on them. But that's for another day. Let's try editing something at random. So we'll have like major discussion, 5 hours. Okay, and by day 1777. Okay, awesome. It works, it syncs. And we can change this to like work, and we'll click save. And that works. Let's set it to the largest size. Oh no, our sizes are backwards. Or no, they're not backwards. They're just weird. Okay, let's fix that. That's in our inline edit. And we have something about size here. That's not one of these. It's this. Is this it? Inline edit, black edit choice. Yeah, dash dash size. Data. Oh, weird. I set them all to 56. No, I'll never be able to get these actual widths back. Except for GitHub. Okay, so oh man, like really, where did I change this? So I can do like a history. So if no, why can't it just tell me? Why can't it just let me do it on GitHub? Okay, well, I don't know. I can just, I guess, look through the code. Oh, easy. 56, 84, 112. That can't be right. That's a lot of space. Oh, okay. Isn't it? I mean, how wide is this actually right now? It is actually has a width of 56, I guess. It's, 56. So what about this guy? What is your width? 28. Oh, and that's because I don't have one for that. Okay, but this doesn't make sense. 56 is big. It's too big. 56, 84, 112. Oh, okay, I get it. I think 112, okay. So 112 was the largest. 4 is going to be the biggest, but we have a 5 here now. So if we do size, what? No, I thought we had a size 5 there. Okay, what do we got? We do, oh, okay. I just wasn't searching for it right. Okay, so this is going up to size 5. And we need it to be up to size 5 because we've decided that size 1 is the non-editable one, and so you can set 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now all we need is for 2 to be the default size, which was 28 pixels. 3 to be that's fine. 4 to be 84. And then we need a 5, or what did I just do? Oh, jeez. Okay, 84, and then a 5 to be 112. And then we've got all these scales wrong, right? So this is going to be, okay, so that one's right. The next one down is that. The next one down is that. And then the last one just has this, because it's 28 by 28 pixels. Yeah. So we actually don't need, we don't need this here at all, but I'm going to leave it. Just so, I don't know. It like overwrites the default values, but it's like with the default values. It overwrites the default values with the default value. Okay, so this is much nicer. Okay, sweet. Okay, awesome. So that's all I'm going to do for today. The only thing left is just to commit this stuff. We're going to say like got timeline working with new libraries. I mean, we did more than that, but yeah. So I like if I was working on a team, I would be more communicative about what I actually did. But I'm not working on a team right now, so this works fine for me for now. Okay, cool. So we're gonna push that out. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. I'm very excited about these new libraries and about how easy it makes editing data on Artisfy, and I look forward to finishing this page and finishing Artisfy sometime in the next few weeks or few months. Well, thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you later.